Hello everyone and welcome to another short video on our own devices. I'm Jean Messier and today we are having a look at yet another mid-century stereoscopic viewer. This is a Bruguière No.1, manufactured by French firm Stéréofilms Bruguière starting in the late 1940s. Now, most of the stereo viewers you've looked at so far were manufactured in North America, but these things were built and marketed all over the world, especially in France, the birthplace of modern photography. So let's have a closer look at the Bruguière No.1 and the history of the Bruguière company. Now, Stéréofilms Bruguière was founded in 1946 by French entrepreneur Georges Bruguière, and their very first product was appropriately the Bruguière No.1. This is an extremely basic viewer made of thick cardboard covered in leatherette. We have our viewing lenses at one end, a frosted glass diffuser missing on this example at the other, and a two-part body that slides in and out to adjust focus. In overall design and function, this is almost identical to the Édition Roland stereoscope manufactured in the 1920s, though in the Bruguière the diffuser is glass instead of celluloid plastic as in the Roland. Despite its simplicity, however, this is possibly the best vintage stereo viewer I've ever come across in terms of image quality. This is because unlike most of its contemporaries that used 8, 10, or 16mm film, this uses full 35mm exposures. The stereo pairs are mounted on these glass slides measuring 45 by 107mm or 1 3/4 by 4 1/4 inches, which are sold in packs of 12 in these nice cardboard boxes, each slide protected by a thin paper wrapper. And to use these, you just slip them into the slot at the front, and though the diffuser is missing, the images are still extremely vibrant and the 3D effect very convincing. Now, of course, it's all but impossible to convey the 3D effect on screen, so the best I can do, as with previous stereo viewers I've covered, is to cut rapidly between the stereo pairs to give you some idea of the image. In this case, the slides that came with the viewer are of the Royal Palace at Versailles. Now, Bruguière continued to produce versions of this basic cardboard viewer for many years, though by the mid-1950s they had introduced more modern molded plastic models like the No.7. They also continued to offer cardboard viewers like the No.9, which was covered in red imitation snakeskin. But by this time, the slide design had changed from glass to a pair of film chips mounted in a plastic frame. By this time, however, Bruguière was facing increasing competition from multi-view stereoscopes like the Viewmaster and was thus forced to upgrade its product line. The first multi-view stereoscope offered by Bruguière was the Stereocolor, which could take two types of slides, the traditional single-view model or longer slides with 4 stereo pairs. To use the second type of slide, a special set of removable inserts had to be installed in the viewer. Later in the 1960s, Bruguière introduced the Stereoclick, which used a vertically sliding card format similar to that used in the later TrueView and ColorScope viewers. These held 8 stereo pairs each and were advanced to the viewer using a ratcheting thumb wheel, hence the name. And to learn more about those other viewers, please check out my previous videos on the subject, link in the description. A number of different versions of the Stereoclick were produced, including the Deluxe, the Super, the Lighted Stereoclick, the Model 11 or Junior, and even a special promotional edition made for car maker Renault. Interestingly, the Stereoclick Super was simply a rebadged version of a viewer made by the Color Relief Company, which Bruguière bought out in 1965. This allowed the company, which had until that point specialized in sepia and black and white photos, to expand its offerings into color. The Super had a metal focusing knob between the viewing lenses, though this was eliminated in the Junior model, which was greatly simplified in order to lower its cost. Finally, Bruguière also produced a non-stereoscopic slide viewer called the Baby Click, which took vertical plastic strips with 8 single exposures each, as well as a mono projector called the Lumi Click. However, not many of these were sold, and they are extremely rare today. In any case, Stéréofilms Bruguière would continue to operate until 1974, when it was bought out by its competitor, Lestrade, and shut down. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Kind of a short one today and kind of a simple device, but I came across this and thought it was really neat and wanted to add it to my long list of other stereoscopes for the sake of completeness. Anyway, I'll see you next time in another video where we'll look at yet more stereoscopes and other fascinating devices just like this one. Until then, I'm Jean Messier from Our Own Devices. Have a great day.